compliments of Johnny Sack.
We first meet Johnny Sack in Season 1, Episode 6, Pax Soprano, when Tony's having an issue with Junior because Junior has decided to tax Hesh. Thanks a lot, Livia.
Tony, Hesh isn't only a friend of you guys. He's a friend of ours. Bottom line is, what are we going to do about this?
Something tells me you have a suggestion.
Oh, Junior, there already flies on you. They're paying fucking rent.
So Johnny and Tony have a very good rapport. They're good friends. They've known each other for quite a while.
Would they reside that green?
Family. I told you. They're a glorified crew.
Whatever they are, Carmine, the Sopranos bring in a lot of cash. I've been close with Tony for a lot of years. Shakespeare straightening out. Paulie doesn't have shit as usual. And the prick doctor may be flushing.
Oh, Johnny Sack! They must have free tokens at the tunnel.
The only time he sticks his beak in is when he's asked to. Well, until Season 3 anyway. Fast forward to Season 3, Episode 4. Johnny Sack and Ginny bought a new house in New Jersey.
They call this the Great Room. I don't see what's so great about it.
I didn't know you were moving to Jersey.
Ginny wanted to be near her sisters. This is strictly a place for me to live. I got no intention of sticking my beak in. I mean, there's our family, and then there's the Soprano family.
What do you think Carmine would say if I wanted to switch families? Come with you guys.
Carmine doesn't know who you are.
We depend on this guy. There are millions of dollars at stake.
Just tell Anthony you're sorry. It might save your life. Would you take Capo of your crew?
No.
Yeah, well, he wants to apologize. Capo?
Never.
Capo's what he mentioned. I threw cold water on it right away. In the Museum of Noses, there goes the friggin' Mona Lisa.
After Johnny Sack moves to Jersey, it seems like he does begin to stick his beak in. And he has the perfect little birdie to whisper in his ear as he sticks that beak in.
What's the matter?
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, you could tell Uncle John.
Then he rules against me in this Morristown bullshit. Maybe you heard about it.
I don't stick my beak in. Don't confuse money with caring. I mean, he's my dear friend, but come on.
I was just saying that to Junior. That maybe Tony fundamentally don't respect the elderly. How is Carmine?
He asks about you.
What's your name again?
Give him my love.
I will. You like hearing that.
While Seasons 1 through 3 were pretty peaceful in terms of Johnny Sack and his relationship with Tony and members of the DiMeo family, Season 4, that kind of gets flipped on its head.
John, please. Look, last year when Tony and I had our thing, that misunderstanding, you were the voice of reason.
See what my friend said about my wife? Made a crack about Ginny's weight. She's fighting a weight problem since the kids were born. Weight Watchers, Richard Simmons, different for women. Body image, self-esteem. I'll tell you though, I never had a problem with Ginny's weight. To me, she's beautiful. Rubenesque. I want you to sanction the hit on Ralph Cifaretto.
You want? I'll demand he's taxed. But clip him?
In fact, there was a lot of potential for bloodshed. Johnny Sack wanted to kill Ralph, but Carmine Sr. said no. There are millions of dollars at stake. Again with the money? Yeah, again with the money. It's settled, John. Apparently, Johnny still isn't budging. And he almost gets taken out because of that. It's only at the last minute, when he has a change of heart and agrees to forgive Ralph, that the hit on Johnny Sack gets called off, along with the hit on Ralph Cifaretto that Johnny Sack had wanted. So, crisis averted. But that doesn't mean everything's peaceful. Later on in the season, there's some more DiMeo Lupertazzi trouble.
4 months I'm up there like the man in the Iron Mask. Not one visit.
Bully, look. The guy's a boss. You visit a guy in the can these days, it's a criminal conspiracy. You're feeling highs in the air and you think, Tony made it right.
It's a different one now.
When Paulie once again spills the beans to Johnny Sack about DiMeo business. In this case, the HUD scam. So Johnny Sack's not happy? And Carmine Sr. certainly isn't happy. Carmine wants 40% of the proceeds from all HUD deals.
40% of the HUD take across the board starting now.
We were at 40 a week ago.
Whatever's done already is done. You keep that for yourself. 40% only applies to future deals. Might be time for a little belt tightening. The bottom line is I'll be losing money every day the Esplanade is shut down. I'm telling you now, Carmine won't bend.
And I just told you I won't.
If Carmine's health were bad, if something were to happen to him, God forbid, all of this unpleasantness would just...
Tony only wants to give him 5%. Carmine's not okay with that. He's still sticking to that 40%. So much so that Johnny Sack suggests taking Carmine out.
Where's Carmine at?
No change whatsoever.
Where you at?
I think a movement from below is not palatable to the other bosses. It's what they fear most. A movement from outside is more forgivable and more understandable, given the facts here.
Tony first refuses, but when Johnny Sack agrees that the Lupertazzi family will have no claims to any of the HUD business, Tony agrees. But once again, we have an 11th hour compromise. Carmine lives to see another day. Or two. Healthy as a fucking rhino, this guy. Well, until the very beginning of the next season, when he has a stroke and dies. And then, who's gonna be the next boss?
Whoa. You yourself said I was like another son to him.
I was being polite. It was his deathbed.
I should have written those words down.
Maybe you should have, John, because they don't mean anything anymore. You understand what I'm saying?
There was a lot of potential for bloodshed before. Now there's really a lot of potential for bloodshed.
So, Angelo had an idea. What if... And he's just floating this to keep the peace.
Mm-hmm.
What if there was a power-sharing situation?
Power sharing.
You all were in charge equally, but no major decisions can be made without a majority of two. This way you're not such a big target for the feds. 3 of the other families have this kind of arrangement.
What's this, the fucking UN now?
But you haven't been yourself since the old man died. Lorraine Coluzzo. And you sink this idiot's boat. It's not the Johnny Sack I know.
I swear on my mother, Tony, if I find out you're lying. You know, it wasn't long ago I remember you used to wait in the car. And as far as I'm concerned, you should still be there. Everybody's got a goddamn opinion.
This is Port Newark.
Tighten security at the ports. Al-Qaeda.
Go on, Johnny.
I gotta go.
Fella was told it was a go. If it didn't happen, how come nobody called?
A lot of things didn't happen. It seemed like they happened. Your cousin didn't whack Joey. The Vespers never got into my hands. You either deliver that prick to my door, or I will rain a shitstorm down on you and your family like you have never fucking seen. We're done here.
Johnny's all excited about his new position. He even gets a new Maserati. It's been a good year, according to him. You think perhaps maybe he jinxed himself a little bit? Maybe. Because later on, at the end of season 5, it's not a very good year anymore after he gets arrested by the feds right outside his house. You know what they say? We don't run, it's embarrassing. Except when we do, I guess. The Lupertazzi family had a rat of their own, Jimmy Petriel. According to Neil Mink, he gave them 18 years worth of information, and if Carmine Sr. had still been alive, he would have been taken down too. It's a major kreplach, my friend.
15 years, you'll be 67. The golden years.
Do I have to do the allocution?
You know the allocution is always part of it. Practically the whole point.
I'll take it.
What did he say?
So just keep away from Phil.
He's a cancer. I can't let it spread.
Well, you're gonna have to use one of your own doctors.
You should call Dr. Cuomo.
We're just talking here, Aunt Louise.
Don't eat that pepper.
Can't take that risk while I'm in jail.
Stay out of trouble.
What did he say?
The way things are, I don't know if I'll be around for Catherine's. How will I be remembered?
A wonderful husband, a loving father.
On the street, though, I mean.
From what I know, you were well liked, John. Respected across the board.
What?
When Carmine died and you took over, people felt you changed. Became a little trigger happy, maybe? A hothead?
It's a thankless job.
Rather than go to trial, Johnny Sack pleads guilty and receives a 15-year prison sentence. He cared for his family. Age 67, he'd get out. The golden years. He'd have plenty more time to spend with his wife, his kids, his grandkids. Sad nonetheless. What's his prognosis? Well, there's no stage 5. And it's heartbreaking, yet a beautiful testament to their love, how Ginny and his daughters are there for him at the very end. Even though she was so unhappy about the fact that he continued smoking cigarettes, the fact that she offered him a cigarette like that in his last moment, or one of his final moments, to me just, that just shows that she really wanted him to be comfortable then, in any way that he could be, even if she knew that wasn't going to help. So, Johnny Sack was a pragmatist. He also became a little trigger happy once he moved up the chain and was fighting for the boss position. But overall, he was a family man. He was one of the only guys who was monogamous, who didn't cheat on his wife, and he stood up for her when she was ridiculed by others. Johnny Sack was a very, very unique and one of my favorite Sopranos characters for many reasons. What do you think about him?